Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Anime Book Club. I am Chester. This is Snow.
Hi.
Good, good. She's there. And
Hi.
if you can believe it, she has been cleaning for the longest time. That's why we are recording this late.
Yeah. Well, that and also poor communication on both of our ends.
Well, I mean, I
So
was
what
trying to
happened
start
was
some. I
that
was okay. So I was trying to start
I got
something like
off work
every new
and
episode we'd come
then
up with something that was in the way of us recording. But never mind. That's
yeah,
gone completely out the window. Never mind now.
I got off work and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go clean the grout in the kitchen. Okay. We all know how tedious that is. If you haven't done it, don't do it. It is tedious. Okay. So I spent a good couple of hours after work doing that. And then my thought of mind is that we discussed this yesterday that we're going to do the podcast today. And I was like, okay, he'll just hop in the Discord when he's ready. Because I'm kind of ready whenever, because I'm just like fucking with the kitchen floor
Okay,
essentially.
okay. What
So
was
it was
said
a poor
yesterday?
communication. Okay. He
No, no,
never
no.
hopped in the Discord and I
What?
never hopped in the Discord
No,
just
no,
because
no.
it was like,
From what I understood yesterday, you said I'll be at the other house tomorrow for just one night, so we could just kill time today playing video games or playing games, and then tomorrow when I'm at the other house, we could do the podcast. And I said, okay, sure, that's awesome. I was waiting at the desk for about an hour, and neither one of us would jump on the call because I
we're
thought she was still
stubborn and
busy,
we're
and
forced
she thought I was
to.
busy.
Yeah, we're
Meanwhile,
poor at communication and we're
Me,
stubborn.
meanwhile, we're both sitting over here at our desks like idiots, not telling each other, by the way, I'm waiting on you.
Yep. Yep.
So,
Yep. Essentially.
friendship. Yay!
Anyway, okay, so we watched the episode sorry, anime Spy Family, and we are talking about episode 1 through 6. Chester is going to be starting off in a few minutes from episode 1 to 3, and I will be doing 4 to 6. Um, this anime is very, very like it's really humorous. I don't think we're going to be doing a good job explaining it as we tell the anime. It's kind of like one of those ones where it's like it's really corny, but in a really good way.
It is so fun.
It is so funny. Like we will genuinely, I can tell you now, we will try to explain certain events, and it just will not be the same. It's even like even when we did it when we were watching So When I'm a Spider, it's like that was like hard to explain, but this is going to be even harder because of how much funnier it is. It's just I
It's a
don't know,
lot
the
of slapstick
mentality.
comedy. It's a lot of like puns, and
Yeah, it is just
it's worth the watch because they come up with so many weird tropes that you need to
honest.
be able to see or
If
experience for yourself.
you guys like somewhat like of a random romantic kind of anime, but not quite fully, I would genuinely watch this.
Oh
It would
yeah,
just,
definitely.
yeah, this is 100% probably gonna be our favorite, my favorite one anyway. But we're only on episode 6, so we'll see. So going off of that, do you want to start off on episode 1?
I do, but before that, we need to do the ceremonial explaining for Chester. So, the anime is called Spy Family. It is a Japanese manga series written and illustrated by Tatsuya Endo. I'm gonna skip the next part because we're gonna get on to that. But the series has been serialized bi-weekly on Shueisha's Shonen Jump Plus application and their website since March 2019, with the chapters collected in 10 tankobon volumes as of October 22nd. It was licensed in North America by Viz Media. So, an anime television series adaptation produced by Wit Studio and Cloverworks premiered on TV Tokyo and its affiliate stations in April 2022 and was licensed by Muse Communications in Asia and Crunchyroll worldwide. The second half premiered in October 2022. A second season and an anime film were announced in December of 2022 and are both set to premiere this year 2023. As of December 2022, Spy Family has had over 29 million copies in circulation, making it one of the best-selling manga series so far. The series has been praised for its storytelling, comedy, and artwork, like Snow has actually just said. So, from there, starting off on episode 1, which is titled Operation Strix. So, the anime starts off and it opens with two people in the highway. The brakes fail and a car drives off a bridge, exploding. I like how the car just explodes. It turns out one of them was a diplomat, and what had happened was an assassination. Um, a shady office shows people saying that they should bring quote unquote him in, codename Twilight, who was a spy. We then see Twilight undercover as somebody named Robert in a fancy ass restaurant with a date named Karen. Very appropriate, the name Karen for this date. Apparently, they're dating, but when she sees a couple proposing, she says, or he says, you know what, we should actually just break off, and tops it off with a, you're boring. A rock has more of a personality than you, which is pretty daunting, to be honest. He, yeah, he actually says, so what he actually says is a rock would be a better conversation partner, and then just leaves. While he walks down a back alley, he pulls out the photos of a diplomat that the opposing government faction was trying to unseat and tosses it in a fire, thinking marriage or a regular life would never be his since he's a spy. The very next day, at a train station, he swaps out newspapers with the random guy that was sitting at a bench. When the guy gets up and meows, Twilight says, "Must be Cipher C." So we see that not only is he a spy, but the guy that was sitting at the bench was actually a spy as well. And this actually ends up being a huge staple throughout the weird animal noises. But I digress. While he reads the newspaper, in the train car, he deciphers a message and what appears to be his next target and assignment. He needs to get close to a reclusive political leader, and to do this, he needs to get married and have at least one kid, all in the span of 1 week. He takes up a new identity, who
Oh, pause.
is.
He also freaks out in the train car. Go
He
seven
does.
deaths, right? And then everyone looks at him.
Yeah,
Sorry.
honestly, it was the funniest part, and it all happened like in under 10 minutes. Actually, about under 5 minutes, I think. No.
Yeah. Proceed.
Um, he does end up taking a new identity, which ends up being Lloyd Forger, who is a psychiatrist. Which I think it's actually pretty funny that his surname ends up being Forger, since um, when you forge something, you fake something.
Anyway,
You know what? It's a smart joke. It's a smart jab. Okay, let me have this. Um, after that, so once he gets there, he ends up renting a kind of a pretty nice apartment. After that, he
that's
goes,
fully furnished.
yeah, it's fully furnished. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess for anybody at that time or there, a fully furnished apartment is the best way to go, probably. But he does end up sweeping it for bugs while he's there. So immediately after this, he goes to an orphanage that looks, let's be honest, it looks seedy as all hell. He tells the owner that he's looking for someone who can already read, since he wants to enroll them into the school that his company told him to as soon as possible. We are then introduced to a pink haired little kid who right away tells him that she's 6. Lloyd thinks to himself that she seems too short, but Anya picks up a newspaper and starts doing the crossword puzzle. Lloyd figures out that um, while she's doing the crossword puzzle, he starts to figure out the answers in his head. And Anya just writes them all down almost at the exact same time that he's thinking them, showing him that she knows all the answers. Uh, so turns out that she's actually telepathic, who was the byproduct of a weird ass experiment done by some shady organization. We don't know who it is. We don't know who her parents are, but that's all we know. Anya then finds the telecommunication machine thing that Lloyd has hidden in his room and sends out a message. The bad guys kidnap Anya, and Lloyd then has to rescue her. I did skip a bit on my notes there, but the orphanage caretaker basically said that he almost gave her to him because she was too creepy to have around, and she had been returned a couple times. because she was just reading everybody's minds. Now, from there, the bad
Hmm.
guys kidnap Anya. Sorry, I did these notes a while ago. The bad guys kidnap Anya, and he then has to go out and actually rescue her. So he goes to the this warehouse looking place that they're keeping her in, but he goes in dressed as one of the thugs that kidnapped her. He thinks he obviously doesn't know that Anya can read minds, and he doesn't know that he knows who he is, but she knows it's him because he's thinking all this. It's his voice in his head, obviously. So he tells her, you know what? We're just gonna be playing hide and seek, okay? So you go all the way over there, and these guys and me are gonna go hide and seek. Um, so as long as you stay hidden, you win. And she ends up going, my dad's a big liar. My new dad's a huge liar. Which something that I didn't remember to put down in on the notes is that for someone that says that they're 6 years old, she is probably more around the age of like 4 years old therearound. And the fact that she knows Morse code and is able to send out a Morse code message is pretty impressive. But anyway, from there we jump on to episode 2, unless Snow has anything that she'd like to say on episode 1.
Um, the kid is really the dad doesn't know that the kid can read minds still throughout the episode. With that in mind, um, she is very aware that her dad is a spy, as well as what's it called? That he did want to give her up because he was worried about her getting in danger. But she's like, no, let's go home. Other than that, no. Proceed.
All right. So from there, we go into episode 2, which is titled Secure a Wife. Now, this episode starts off with Frankie, who is Twilight's helper, trying out women's clothing and being rejected by Lloyd on every single one of them. We're introduced to Yor immediately after, a 27-year-old who seems pretty simple-minded. I mean, she is she's painfully gullible. Um, so her coworkers actually tell her that being single at this age is seen as dangerous since it can mean that someone could be a spy, and that and they do actually mention that someone had recently been arrested for espionage, and they found her out because that was a single
She was
woman.
single. Yeah. At the
So
age of like, yeah,
she says that she was like what 31 or 29, something like that.
like 29 or something like that.
So
I know suspicious activity.
yeah, I think this they make it sound like the anime takes place around like World War II or immediately after World War II, because espionage was huge at that time, especially with the Soviet Union Iron Curtain type.
Anyway,
I'm just saying, it seems a lot like it. Now, when she does get home that night, Yor gets a call from her brother Yuri, who tells her that she should be married and says that he can set her up. She says she has a boyfriend, completely out of the blue, and Yuri says that he'll need to hear about this boyfriend from one of his friends who is with one of her coworkers, and then hangs up. Like I said, she's incredibly simple-minded. Right after, she receives another call from someone called the shopkeeper saying that someone has requested her services and calls her Briar Rose. This is how we then find out that she is actually an assassin and kills one of the state's auditors along with his bodyguards straight thereafter. Using they look like knitting needles to me, or crochet needles, one of those two, but like huge oversized ones. Anyways, Lloyd is then going through a huge pile of papers with Frankie that has the information of every single woman in the city. And not every single woman, like every woman, but every single woman. Every woman that doesn't have a boyfriend or isn't married. Anyways, he does tell Frankie that the company is so short-handed that he was given a side mission to take down a smuggling ring. At the same time that he needs to pull this mission off. He and Anya then go to the tailor to get measured for her new school uniform when Lloyd sees Yor. She seems interested in him, but when she sees Anya, she thinks she was about to hit on a married man. She then thinks married women normally would kill any mistresses, but if it came to that, she'd kill them first anyway. Anya reads Yor's mind and finds out that she's an assassin immediately. Anya makes a huge show saying that she has no mom, but she would love to have one. She says basically this huge show of like her throwing a tantrum while at the same time trying to help her dad out because she knows that he's trying to find a wife. Um, but yeah, she's making it as obvious as possible that to everybody that he has no wife, he has no girlfriend, he's got no one. Yor then asks Lloyd to pretend to be her boyfriend, and he agrees and says that he would if she pretends to be his wife in turn for the interview for Anya's school. They both agree and they go their separate ways. Frankie and Lloyd are then shown busting the smuggling ring at night. Lloyd picks out a diamond ring that they recovered and says it would help sell the illusion of Yor being his wife. And I'm not joking, I think Frankie sells this whole thing because he makes a huge shove. Originally, he was like looking through all the jewels and stuff, saying, "Oh my God, look at all this stuff. I wonder which one of these is gonna go missing." And when um when Lloyd picks out the ring, he throws a huge fit, like, "No, no, no, you picked that out on purpose. That would sell for the most." So I don't know. He seems like he would be the comic relief of this entire thing, to be honest. So far, anyway, so far. Um, anyways, where am I? There we are. The Yor feels that she's been stood up since Lloyd hasn't gotten there so far to her coworkers' party that night, and she goes to her friend's party alone. While her coworkers end up gossiping, she asks her brother's friend Dominic to say that she was seen with a gentleman. Dominic's girlfriend then interrupts Camilla. Um, she's a huge bitch about it, saying that they wouldn't lie and that she needs to kind of grow up here and admit that she's got nobody in her life, that she's a spinster. You know. Anyways, right when Yor's about to leave, Lloyd bursts in with blood running down his face, and he blurts out that he's Yor's husband. So he forgot that he was just supposed to be her boyfriend, and kind of screws everything sideways there. Um, but on the way home, they are found and attacked by the smugglers, who Lloyd says are his patients. Remember, he is supposed to be a psychiatric doctor. While they run away, Yor asks Lloyd if he would marry her. She does explain that it would be good cover since she wouldn't be single anymore. He accepts and uses a grenade pin as a ring since the ring that he had picked up fell through one of his pants pockets and his jacket pocket. And the episode actually ends with them saying their vows to each other in a slightly different way. He says until uh, his missions do them part, and she says until her assassinations do them part. Not out loud though, because that would bring everything to an end super quick.
What though?
I think it
Anyway,
would.
anyway,
Anything to say from that one
nope.
besides the fact that
Super corny and just watch the anime for yourself, especially the first two episodes. No,
no,
proceed.
I didn't watch it by myself.
I know I didn't say by yourself. Anyway, proceed.
All right. Episode 3 ends up being a huge filler episode, sadly, for everybody involved. But it's the first filler episode, and they do try to kind of make it fun, which is good. Um, episode 3 comes out as prepare for the interview. So on this episode, Yor moves in with Lloyd and Anya after they are legally married. By legally, it's just on paper done through Lloyd's company. So about as legal as you can get through a spy corporation. Um, Anya and Yor fail Lloyd's mock interview that he had organized. Um, so he in turn organizes a trip for the three of them so that they can at least seem to be educated and culturally competent, since everybody at the school is from an upper class standing, so they're all super duper fucking rich. So first they go to the opera, and Yor and Anya end up falling asleep, like damn near snoring. After that, they do go to a fancy restaurant where they have absolutely no fun, obviously, because it's a fancy restaurant and the portions are so small. And then after that, they go to a museum where they don't understand the art and they just end up walking out. Yor from there takes them to the park so that they can relax, where they see a lady being robbed. Um, After trying to chase him down, the thief actually goes under a bridge and they don't see him come out. But then Anya, using her telepathy, she kind of reads the guy's mind and she goes, "Hey, look, I want what was it, a cheesecake, or I want an ice cream from that specific shop way down there." And Yor kind of looks over and he sees that the guy is walking with the same gait that the thief had. So they chase him down. Uh, he jumps on him from a terrace, or not a terrace, but
Balcony.
yeah, I
Easiest,
think
yeah, easiest way to explain that situation. Also,
yeah.
side note, they didn't walk out of the art gallery because they didn't understand it. They just finished looking at all the paintings.
Well, Anya and Yor didn't understand any of the art, and they said pretty
That's
much,
a lie. Anya was literally staring at the freaking art that had the head, like, that chops off or whatever.
yeah, but I mean, she was just staring at it. She didn't really understand what it was about or if it was about anything. She was just staring at it because it's a head
What do you
that's
mean?
been
The
chopped
mom was
off.
like freaking obsessing over it. And then
Yor,
Anya went
yeah,
to
but
go, yeah, but
Anya,
then Anya went to go draw her own pictures in the kids section.
eh, yeah, but I mean, the actual art that was there, they didn't. Never mind. You're right.
Okay.
No, I did say you're right. Chill out. Anyways, yeah, Lloyd jumps at him from a balcony or a terraced place at the park. Luckily enough, he doesn't kill him. He just is able to pry the purse from him and ends up returning it to the old lady. So they do end up catching the street burglar. And when they return the purse to the old lady, they actually end up being really happy that they were able to make the old lady believe that they were a real family, because she said that if it weren't for them and their amazing work as a family, she would never have been able to get her purse back, basically. And that's actually where it ends. They just are super super happy that they convinced an old lady about being a real family,
Hmm.
which one small step to being where they should be, I suppose.
One thing I want to overly add on everything Chester said, there are faint signs of, hold on, I wasn't paying attention to names. I know Silver and who? Or Twilight and Anya's the kid. Who's the mother?
Your?
Yor? Yor. Yor is showing like random signs of like, I don't know, like body, I wouldn't say kung fu or anything or self defense, but like I don't know, assassination skills essentially, where it's like
Well,
it's
she does
flawless her technique.
she does explain this away though,
Yeah, but
because
we know what it is. Her explanation is word jack shit.
oh, we know that for sure. But I mean, she does kind of explain it, and Twilight, for being a world famous spy, ends up falling for that bullshit excuse too, right?
Yeah, but that's what I'm not saying. I'm not speaking in anime terms. I'm speaking in what we're seeing, like pointing
Oh,
out.
okay. If we're doing like,
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
not
that
saying.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know why you're
absolutely.
arguing with me with that. Like, and
I
I
mean,
was
the
also
way you
gonna say,
explain it, I thought you meant in
okay, are
the
you done?
anime.
I didn't say that.
You didn't. Oh, okay, fine, fine. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
And
Episode.
also with what's her name?
It just wouldn't be a real podcast if we didn't fight with each other, right? Or argue with each other.
What's the girl's name?
Anya?
Anne? Anya. Okay. Anya. I don't have the notes, that's why, sorry.
True. That's
Anya
true.
is also humorous throughout the first three episodes because of the way her expressions and all the things that Silver, or not Silver, Twilight is thinking and all that. Moving on to episode 4, though.
Wait,
Uh,
wait, hang on. I do want to add that her face is the most expressive thing ever. It is just perfect every single time.
uh, it is. It genuinely is. This episode 4 is called The Prestige School's Interview. As the forgers arrive at Eden's Academy for the interview, they impress Henry Henderson, one of the housemasters, as they overcome multiple screening efforts. Okay, so pausing for 1 second. So as they approach, before they approach to the school, at the beginning of the episode, they like do like a check. They're like, "Are you all like dressed?" And like, the mom just like does like a little head to toe check, and she's like, "Yep." And then checks the kid, "Yep." And we're like, "We're good to go." Okay. So going from that, they go to the school, and then there's like a kid stuck in a sewage thing, and they're like, they felt like when they walked in to the, I don't know, like main entryway of the academy, where they're like, someone's watching us, right? And Silver thought that, and also, oh, I need to find her name. Your felt that as well, right? Like
Hmm.
they both feel someone watching, and obviously, um, Anya can read their mind, so she knows someone's watching them. So with that in mind, they're quick to realize that it's all the housemasters watching them, right? Like it's like they're already starting the screening process. So then one kid is stuck in the sewer, and then nobody's helping, right? Because they're like, okay, all the other parents have a feeling that they're being watched, so they don't want to um, wreck their clothes or anything, right? So Twilight walks over and yanks him out, right? As in Henry, the housemaster, whatever, is like watching through a window. He's like, how elegantly is he gonna perform that without wrecking his clothes? And then Twilight just yaga his them out, and then they get like sewage on their clothes, of course, right? And he's like, what's that? And then he changes, right? The whole family changes.
Yeah, that's
And he's
true.
like, "Oh, how elegant! How odd that they whatever, right?" And it was really funny. Okay, and then the next thing, so they proceed, yada 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 yada. They proceed. Keep in mind for that they also got Anya to actually like be like, "Oh, Dad, look, there's a kid that needs help," right? Like, cause he gave her like Toilet gave her like a pat on the back, be like, "Yeah, come on, cue it up," or she's like, "Oh, I got it," right? So then the next scene is like farm animals like stampeding through the school randomly, and that one wasn't planned. So then Henry, the housemaster, is like, "Oh, this wasn't planned. Okay, we must go help, right?" So then obviously, Twilight is saves the kid, okay, but he wrecks his new suit again, right? And then what's it called? Then the your steps in and then like pressure points this cow, so it just like kind of pops down because it was the leader of the cow. I don't know. It was really like hmm,
Wait, hang on.
intense, but
If I could
not
kind of,
intense.
if I could kind of pop into this one though,
Hmm.
That bull or that cow, if you look closely and you like rock and roll, you
Yep.
will see some very distinct markings on its
Yep.
face.
100%.
And by that I mean it's gonna look like the lead singer from Kiss. No lie, it's the same markings from the mask of Gene Simmons.
All right. So they do that. Obviously, Yor and Twilight have their clothes wrecked now, right? Like they're all kind of like torn or whatever from dealing with the stampede. So they change again, and then Henry, the house was like so like astonished, just like, "Oh my God, they're so elegant! Like, who could predicted this?" Right? Because it's like they bring one change of clothes, but two, that's a little excessive. So during the interview, the house masters give during the interview, they gave the housemaster satisfactory answers, but that's because Twilight listened in to the previous, as a spy, the previous interview, right? So he knew all the answers they were going to ask. But one of the interviewers out of the three is a divorced dude like that's taunting them and wanting to fail them because it's like they're a happy couple, right? So he's like he just got divorced recently and he just lost custody of his kid. And then the Henry is in there, the one that's like really like, oh my God, these people are amazing, right? So elegant, so whatever. And the other guy is just like a genuine like, yeah, he's like down to earth essentially,
The
right? Like he's
biggest
like
prick ever.
yeah, so like you have a prick, you have one that's like a fond of them, and you just have a genuine guy. So with that, they're answering all the questions, and then they're being elegant with an elegant family. So I don't know how to explain this. So they answer all the questions, but then they asked Anya which mother she likes best. Okay, and keep in mind they rehearse these questions. They rehearse them. So when they asked Anya a certain question, they're like, "Which mother do you like best? Do you like your real mother or you like your adopted mother?" And then of course, Twilight and Yor get really fucking mad. Right? They're like, Twilight's like, just holding your rage. It's just an interview. It will be okay. Just keep calm, right? And Yora's ready to like snap. She's giving like that evil glare. If you watch the anime, you know what I'm talking. It's like so. I want to say massage. Like it's so evil. And yours, Anya, pardon me, starts to cry, and then Twilight just like loses his shit, and all you see is like his face just go completely like blank. He's like, I know I shouldn't be doing this with his like fist in the air, ready to go to the headmaster that's an asshole, right? Like the dick one. And then he just hits the table. Oh, there was a fly, right? And it was so aggressive to the point the table broke and his fist was bleeding, right? So
A mosquito, but yeah.
obviously they left and went home with the family enraged and upset about what happened. um, Twilight ends the interview, and after the forgers leave, the headmaster Henry punches Swan, which is the asshole, in defense of the foreigners. At home, Lloyd, Twilight, is currently in the failed relief kind of stage of the interview and how it went, but argues to leave the rest up to luck with Yoru and Anya's reassurance, right? Because he's like, I would never have left this in the hands of luck. I'm a spy. Everything's in my fate, essentially. But I don't know. Anything else to add, Chester?
I was about to say, did you say something else, Dad? But I figured out you said something else to add. But nope. It was he did smash the table, but it was because it was mosquito. To which the elegant headmaster guy says that how very elegant it was of him because he knew how many people died because of mosquitoes.
Mm-hmm. Um, episode 5 is called "Will They Pass or Fail?" Ha. So at the beginning of the episode, we're actually shown headquarters of Twilight's lore um, thing, and we also get like a quick snap of the beginning of the interview. So what? I accidentally did the mistake and skipped episode 4, and I just watched it today. Whoops. But at the beginning of episode 4, they are talking. I don't know what's his. They don't say his name right away, but an assistant and I don't know, the spy director, whatever you want to call him, are like talking about Twilight and how successful he is because they're asking like, will he be able to pull it off, whatever. And then they also jot back to how on the day of the interview, how they ran across into so much bad luck, right? Like, so Anya stepped in a pile of dog poo. They saw a black cat walking across their pathway, like things like that. Anyways, though,
The most
despite
everything just nothing
yeah,
that was
it
good
is
luck.
awful. But despite failing the interview, Anya is the first on the waiting list. Thanks for Henry's intervention, right? Since he did punch the dude. As they accept into as he and is accepted. Okay, sorry. I'm reading someone else's notes.
Oh, you
Pause.
good, you good.
What happens? So they're on the first of the waiting list, and then 3 days later, they are accepted into Eden's Academy. Um, your is like when they were told first on the wait list, yours first reaction was like, "Oh, I need to assassinate them. It's my kid or yours." Kind of like a random scene. It was kind of funny actually, but she's like, "No, I can't do that. I can't do that. That's not okay." Anyway, while they are celebrating Anya's acceptance with Frankie, right? Twilight's like little helper.
Like I
A
said, I still
drunken
think that he's one of the best comic relief that there is.
Yeah, he's also kind of the reason why Anya got accepted, to be honest, I think, right? Like he did something.
I think
Um,
so.
yeah, like he's like, cause he like showed up, like they got the call, she got accepted, and then he showed up with a bottle of wine. He's like, yeah, she got accepted, right? So a drunken Frankie steers Anya into requesting Lloyd, Twilight, to celebrate and like to do her favorite thing. And what she wants to do is what she picked is to do her favorite cartoon character, Spy Wars, as a reward. And that's a huge castle because it's a TV show, and she wanted to replay it like in real life. Right? She wanted to do like her favorite thing was to watch Spy Wars. So she wanted to go see it reenact and all that in real life. Okay. So to her demand, obviously they pull it off. Okay, so Yor is drunk right now. Okay, Twilight pulls out a plane out of thin air from the organization, gets Anya and Yor on the plane. Same with what's his name again?
Frankie?
Frankie. Sorry, I just wanted to check. And then they go to the castle that they rented out. Huge castle, like Disneyland. Think of that. Okay. And then the whole castle is empty, and of course Anya's upset. So then Twilight calls in backup. A whole bunch of spies show up out of nowhere because it's an S-class mission. Okay, and then it's full of people. It's full of furniture, food, drinks, and then they have this little thing where Twilight is speaking, but he's also giving them like a coded message with his foot, which is actually kind of cool. I don't know. I thought that was kind of cool, right? Because everyone's so
That was
fond
actually really
of
cool.
him, right? Like they're all such an awe. They're like, oh my god, it's the Twilight. I need to get an autograph. Like he is like the top spy,
So you say
right?
all of them, but there's this one guy in particular that he's just like fangirling all over him.
Yeah, so mad. So, Frankie, Yor, and Anya obviously going to take the balloon carriage ride and get a head start, and then Twilight Lloyd has to follow them along, wearing like a spy kind of like. goggles and like gloves because he guessed it was like a guess three. If you get two wrong, then you have to wear the outfit. And it was like three simple questions of what Anya was thinking, but he just missed one very easily. He's like, "What could you want right now?" And she's like, "Water. I'm thirsty." He's like, "How the fuck am I supposed to guess that?" Or whatever. But he didn't swear. Right. So then he goes through these obstacles with the other spies, and he elegantly takes them all out effortlessly. Like it's like not even an effort for him. Like there's a part where he has to zip line to like the final part of the castle where they are, and he like uses his belt to do it, like in the spy movie, but he puts it back on like it's like nothing. Okay, like just snap, it's back on. Anyway, they have a little scene again saying that he has to rehearse things in front of all the other spies, which he's embarrassed. He has to act, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's gonna act. We get to see him in like real action." Frankie makes a thing where he has to get past Yor to get Anya to be the winner. And then Yor is drunk, so she goes into death mode kind of thing. Like she's like, "I'm gonna kill you," and then she like trips and like breaks her heel and just falls asleep on the ground. Like no, she's like, yeah. Um, and then Anya
That's
runs
smart.
to Lloyd and they have a moment, and then that's essentially the end. And then it shows back at headquarters of like the mission in that. So, yeah. Do you want to add anything to that?
I do not.
Okay. Did I miss
Everything was
anything?
good. No, everything was no.
Okay.
What you said he missed one answer. He missed two answers. One of them was yes, that she wanted water because she was
Yeah.
thirsty, and the second one was she wanted a
What's
no
your
pew.
favorite food?
No, she wanted a no pew pew gun.
Oh, yeah, but the one that he got right is what's her favorite food? And he's like, peanuts.
Yep.
Like, she's like obsessed with peanuts.
Yeah, and because he lost two, he had to put on gloves and a mask.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, if you guys are wondering what a no
Um,
pew pew gun is, it's basically a pistol with a
Nerf
silencer.
gun.
Nope, no,
Oh,
it's a
that.
pistol. Yeah,
I
it's
was
a pistol
thinking
with a
about the
silencer.
other gun that he was using on the episode.
Nope,
That's
because
fair.
when she's watching the Spy Wars TV show, she's the lead the main character of the show has a gun that just goes pew pew pew. It doesn't blam. It doesn't do the huge loud uh report. It just goes pew 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 because it's got a silencer on it. So she calls it a no pew pew gun.
Hmm. Also, I just want to emphasize on how you're on the final episode of that, like, definitely went into killer mode. It was very, very fun to watch. He's like, Jesus Christ, essentially. He's like, holy, what the hell is she made? Like, yeah. Um, anyway, episode 6 is, ah, I closed out the tab. The friendship thing, whatever it is. I don't remember. So they go to the tailor's salon. Okay. And they get Anya's outfit made and measured, and the tailor is like giving this family like weird death stares, etc., things like that. So they get it done, they get it tailored, and then they go back to the apartment, and Twilight, Lloyd, has to go out and run an errand. So he's going to leave the two girls at home, right? He's like, here, I need to go run out for a bit. You guys can do whatever you want. I won't be back till after dinner. So Lloyd runs down. He goes to like a little camera booth, and then it's like a secret elevator, super spy stuff, of course. Takes him like down to like a basement thing, and he talks to this chick, like obviously spy, but she's wearing a witch hat. She's actually kind of cute, right? And he's like, "Here's my expensive," and then she gets mad because she's like, "What are you? You think we're made out of freaking money?" Um, yeah, he goes, "Well, with this assignment, you can't." And then she goes, "Fine, whatever," takes it. They do a rundown of the what's going to happen at Eden's Academy and what's expected. He also informs Lloyd that the academy has these things called, I think they're called bolts. I don't remember the exact term. Do you, Chester?
I think
Uh, like
the
if
merits and demerits, which are bolts and
yeah,
stars.
yeah. So like if you have 8 demerits, you are kicked out, and they're bolts. And if you have 8 stars, you are called one of the elite. Right. So for her to be sorry, for Anya to be successful in her mission, she would have to get 8 elite. Meanwhile, Anya got her outfit because they went to the tailor. She looks super cute, kinda. I don't know. The outfits are kind of meh. And then Yor and Anya go to the park, and then Anya goes shows off with a whole bunch of strangers. She's like, "Look at me in my like outfit, whatever, super kiddish," which is kind of cute.
Yeah, it's
Um,
really cute.
yeah, and then so a group of thugs, kind of like punks, see them in the park, and they see the two walking into a supermarket. But then they go back to how Yor made the decision to be like, "Why don't I make dinner tonight?" Right? So then, meanwhile, as Yor's picking out all the groceries, Anya's showing up all the customers her outfit. Of course, she's super proud. Yor goes to check out, and then Anya says, "I'm gonna go run outside and show everyone again." Keep in mind, she's like a little kid. She's still really excited. She obviously gets trapped by the thugs, right? And they're gonna try to sell her outfit, whatever. Yor comes out freaking crazy ass psycho, raging,
I
throwing
don't think it
vegetables
would
and
be
karate
psycho.
chopping.
I mean, I
I'm trying to
she's ang
explain it.
yeah, but oh, okay, well, I guess so.
If you're picturing it, Chester, if you go back to this exact picture of like, you know what? Here, I'll just 2 seconds, guys. Um, there you go. Anyway, so obviously Anya is like happy that mom's badass and saved her, and then Yora's like, I'm so sorry, I wrecked dinner, whatever, right? So they have a moment. They end up going back to the house. Um, Twilight comes back as well. The next day, I'm presuming it's the next day. Sorry, guys. They're all at Eating's Academy. Where kids, mothers, all wearing the outfits, etc. They're doing what is kind of like the introduction of the school, etc. Right away, they are separated. The kids are separated into groups, and the parents stay together. Right. So Anya is put into a class where all the parents are like kind of like not royals, but like higher ups, right? Like one of them is the target of the mission, if it was right, something like that, and like a duke's. I don't want to say a duke's. Do you have a word for that, Chester?
Chancellor?
Chancellor, yeah. Chancellor, like high, just important people essentially. So she's put into that group, and she is immediately not a fan of one of the kids that she was supposed to get really close to. So the kids go off into their groups. Twilight is like, "Dear God, this is gonna go horrible on the first day already." She's already kind of like made an enemy. She was supposed to be friends with this person. Um, Also, their headmaster is Henry, the guy that was fond of the forgers. With that in mind, the is it the Duke's kid? Is that the right name?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure before I keep saying it. So the Duke kid keeps picking on Anya, of course, being all smuck, etc. Right? And then a side note that you're taught Anya some simple martial arts like punching and things like that, but also like motherly life. Like, don't do this if you like. You need to learn how to control your temper. Like, you cannot be whatever, right? Like all like the things that comes to martial arts. So as she holds back, she just smiles, which pisses off the Duke kid
In her defense, or in
immediately.
the strange defense of the Duke's kids. Anyway, that is a really creepy looking smile.
It's so funny though. You can't
Yeah,
even be mad at
it
it.
looks like the smuggest smile ever.
It is honestly so funny, right? Because she's like, your smile will piss them off more than if you punch them, right? Like that's what yours said to Anya, something like that. So she just like does this creepy ass grin, she's like he, and it's just like, mm, yeah. So that pisses him off. So then Anya also made a friend. I don't remember her name too. Uh,
I can't
uh
remember her name.
Dime, Diamond. Oh, DAM something.
GAM?
DAM.
Oh, damn,
Anyway,
I don't
so
remember.
so she makes a friend with a purple hair kid, okay, easily. And the purple hair, she's not actually purple, she's kind of like a maroon brown. I'm just gonna say purple, so it's really clear. So she is friends with Anya. She's like, you need to fight for yourself. Like, you can't let him bully you like this, right? So she just keeps smiling, etc. And it's just like this creepy grin until the teacher isn't looking, right? Like Henry isn't looking, and she just punches him, and of course he just starts crying because like he's just bullying her, picking on her, etc. And the whole thing was like she's like, I was defending my friend, like the purple haired chick, because he stepped on her foot a while back, right? And he just wouldn't stop bullying. But also he yeah. So that's what happened. The parents are having a meeting with all the other parents, and of course Twilight is being super observant. Henry goes over to Lord Lloyd, sorry, and and then he goes like, so by the way, she's punched a kid essentially. She's gonna get one um light bulb, not light bulb, but
A
strike,
bolt, a
whatever.
demerit type
Bolt.
thing.
There we
Yeah.
go. Bolt. I was missing the word bolt. But she could have got four, but it was for self-defense and it was so elegant. Whatever, right? So obviously the parents are like, oh God, right? And then they're like stunned. And in the portrait, because they take like a whole school portrait with all the like all the parents and all the kids, they're on the far left at the end of the episode, and like their faces are just like they're not even present. Like it's just I don't know how to explain that.
But was that the
They
end of it?
emotionally detached. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the end of it.
Yeah.
It
But I
ended
mean,
off like
at the
that.
end of it, like you do kind of see that like everybody has their parents with them, or at least one parent, but the Duke's kid is all alone there. There's nobody there with him.
I didn't even see that. Where is the Duke?
I think he's like somewhere off in the bottom or around there. Yeah, he's let's see. All right, so I've got the
I'm
picture up.
looking at it again.
Uh at the top all the way on the right.
Oh, is that him?
Yeah, and he's there. He's the only one without parents behind him.
Mm.
So that's pretty sad, and I think that's where they might start garnering a little bit of a sympathy for him, mainly because they're showing, well, see, look, everybody in this picture, all the kids have parents with them, except for
Hmm.
you. So I don't know. It kind of just seems that way. I might be
That's
wrong.
fair.
Yeah, I might be
That's
wrong,
fair.
but they might start playing on that.
That's valid. But did you want to add anything on episode 6?
Nope, it was a really fun episode.
That one was kind of a filler, but it was still good.
I don't know if it, well, it can't really be a filler if it kind of advances the story, and I think it did on this one
Yeah.
because Anya got into school and she got a demerit. So,
Yeah, but also I honestly wish they slowed down for episode 1 and 2. They took that
oh
way
yeah,
too
no, they
fast.
went
Like
so quick with that.
it was so like I honestly those 2 episodes were so good. I honestly wish it was a little slower. That's
True,
how
but at
good
the
they
same
were.
time, if they had taken longer, I think they would have just stretched the opening for way too much. I don't know,
Yeah,
like
I don't
think
know.
about like I'm a Spider, so what, right? That opening took, I think the first episode was 45 minutes alone, and then after
That's
that it
fair.
was a 30-minute episode. So
I don't
that
know. It
being
was just
said,
so good. I kind of wish.
yeah,
That's
true,
all.
true. I
But
feel like all the good anime are getting like really quick openings to it. So I don't know. That's I think that anyway.
anyway, I think that was about it.
I think so.
Over. Yeah.
I'm
I
pretty
know.
happy how that ended up. I like the anime so far.
Me
So
too. We will watch, what was it, 7 through 12? Uh,
yeah, 7 through 2, and I think
and
it
that
ends
should be
on
posted next
12.
Monday. Or
Um,
not posted, but podcast will be made next Monday.
no, I think I'll put it up a little bit earlier since we're recording it later this week. I'll still see if I could put it on Friday. Fridays
That's not,
should be the upload.
I'm
Yeah,
not talking about upload. I'm talking about next time we're, okay, you know what? Never mind. I'm not
next time we
talking about that.
record. Next time we record.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I'm glad I
That's,
was able to kind of pick that off from the weirdest way of saying it ever.
I literally said next time we, okay.
You said the
Anyway.
next time we upload.
No, yeah, I did say that, but then I did correct.
Oh,
But you
okay.
got so
I got,
fixated
I
on the
did.
upload.
I did get it. True. So just to clarify, yeah, the uploads, I think the upload schedule is going to be every Friday. There will be a new episode. Whereas for us recording them, it might be either on Sunday or Mondays. So one of those 2 days. I don't stream on either one of those days, so one of those days we record. Today seems to be the only outlier, just because it's on Tuesday. But we both had stuff going on. So let's just go ahead and leave it there.
Video
And
games.
oh yeah, yeah, a lot of video games. And well, let's go ahead and say work too, because well, why not? So with
Mhm.
that being said, I have been Chester.
Hi.
That has been Snow. I was half expecting her to chime in and say I have been Snow, but nope. So I've been Chester. She's been Snow. Thank you again for joining us. Again, this has been Spy Family episodes 1 through 6. Um, Subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. If you guys want to drop by on streams, that'd be great too. Links down below. But as of now, we are done. I'm gonna go to the gym. You guys have a great night, day, morning, whatever time of day it is. Anything from you, Snow?
Hi. Nope.
Okay, she's just signing off on the bye. All right, have a great one. Bye bye.